My name is Katie Halford. I'm 13 years old, and this is my dog Fighter. Fighter was born 2 years ago at Dale Hollow Lake in Kentucky, and we brought her there because Brooke was supposed to go into labor that weekend, and we had a family reunion, and Granddaddy is a vet, so we brought her with us, and she had puppies, and that's what happened. We named her Fighter because she was the runt of the litter, and when she was born she couldn't breathe, and my granddaddy had to do CPR on her, and he basically had to bring her back to life. When she was a baby, she was really little and she needed extra care from my mom, and so we both kind of took her in and played with her and helped her get back to a normal, regular puppy size. And
y'all got attached.
We got really attached. At that point, Mom really, we were all really attached, but she was really attached, and so there was no not keeping her. And yeah, Daddy didn't have a choice after that. The only real problem for my dad was she's the wrong color. So he's kind of gotten over that now, but he likes the black ones better.
Katie just started watching YouTube videos and figuring out some things that she can do. And by the time Fighter was 7 or 8 months old, she taught her all these tricks. I mean, going through tunnels and jumping over stuff. And I mean, by the time it was all said and done, she had Fighter doing these agility drills, going through this tunnel and back through the poles, and then Fighter could pull the poles up out of the ground and bring the poles back to the garage. And I was just kind of like, this kid's kind of got a knack for this training. At the time she was 12 years old, and she's out here with little treats and a clicker, and she's teaching this dog how to do all this cool stuff. Like, it's pretty neat. And so about that time, we decided that that's a pretty smart dog, and she probably ought to get the benefit of some retriever training. I said, you know, you need a purpose for your training. And there are these people that train for hunting retriever trials, and if you would learn what they do, then you could train with a purpose. You could actually take the dog, and instead of just being able to pick up 1 bumper or 2 bumpers, you could teach the dog how to stop on a whistle, how to handle left and right and back. And I said, if you do that, she would then become very useful to me as a hunting retriever, because, you know, I like to duck hunt, right? So she thought that was a great idea. She dove headlong into one of these training academies and learned a lot. And so we started training kind of every afternoon and teaching the dog little tips and tricks and things. And before long, Fighter was taking hand signals really well, stopping on a whistle and doing all kinds of cool stuff. And so because of COVID, she's got all this time on her hand to train. But I've also got a lot of time on my hands because now I'm not traveling all summer, July and August, like I normally would be for shows, trade shows and in-store promotions and things that we would be doing with the call business. And so middle of July, there was an HRC, Hunting Retriever Club test in Covington, Tennessee, and at Sure Shot, Tyler Patterson's place. I'd never been to a hunting retriever test, and frankly had never really been interested in it. And I thought, you know, looked on the calendar and we had absolutely nothing going. And so I thought, well, this would be cool for Katie to kind of see what these dogs do, and it would help her kind of put some legs to what she was training for. And so we went up there on that Saturday and watched and kind of got a feel for it. Thought, okay, this is cool. Well, we entered Fighter as a started dog, which I got on YouTube, talked to some people, and figured out started dog level, super easy. It's 4 retrieves, 2 land, 2 water. The 2 land retrieves are really short. You walk up, sit beside a bucket, and they throw, it's actually a dead duck. They throw it from left to right, and then you send the dog out there. The dog has to get it and bring it back, and the dog just has to drop it within arm's reach of you. Super easy, like, doesn't have to be fancy, no big deal. And then you do that 1 more time. So you do 2 back-to-back lands, but both times the dog sees the duck fall, sees the duck thrown, it falls, it's super short grass, it's about a 30-yard retrieve. I mean, piece of cake. This dog's taking hand signals, stopping on a whistle, all this. So I told Kay, I was like, you can do this, no big deal. So we go, we start watching, we're learning, and man, like the first 20 dogs that run, I mean, boneheads. they make every possible mistake in the world. One of them would pick up the duck and he'd run 200 yards out there and stop, act like he was gonna dig a hole and bury it. And then the next one would, they'd throw the duck and he would just sit there. And then the next one would pick up the duck and run circles through the crowd and run all over the place. So by the time you watch all this, you're 13, she's a 13-year-old girl. She was freaked out. She was like, oh my gosh, my dog's not gonna do this. Because from her frame of reference, these people probably had the same amount of training, and their dogs probably, she thought those other dogs probably had the same level of competency as Fighter. She didn't have any idea. And so I guess whenever it was her turn, she stepped up to their line, and I'll be honest, I was super nervous as well. But she crushed it. Ran out, picked it up, came back. Ran out, picked it up, came back. So then it was time to do the water. And we had not done any training in water, but I knew that Fighter had done some water stuff, and she picked up some ducks in water for me. I knew she could do it fine, but Katie had not seen it. So then it was kind of the added anxiety of, will my dog even get in the water? Of course, she's not a duck hunter, so she didn't know. I knew that there would be no problem. Sure enough, Fighter goes out there, picks him up, comes back, heals. And I just gotta tell you, it was a really cool experience, because connecting with your kids on something that's not required by their school or something that they're forced to do, but something that's just purely that you can connect with them because they want to do it, not because you're making them. Man, it is really hard to find those things. And then to walk down that road with them and see them succeed at it, super special. And that's what that first test was like for us. She got to experience the anxiety of, can my dog do this, after putting in a whole bunch of work, and then be tested and show everyone how well her dog did, and then leave with this sense of accomplishment and pride, because all these people are going, holy cow, that dog really was sharp. I liked the way that dog healed and the way that dog delivered the hand. And I think that really gave her a sense of pride, and as a parent, for your kid to see that hard work yields significant results, that's pretty cool.